In response to a growing security threat, the Ministry of Home Affairs has granted Z category security to Tibetan spiritual leader His Holiness the Dalai Lama, based on a detailed threat assessment report from the Intelligence Bureau. A chilling death threat has been made against the Dalai Lama, prompting immediate action by the Indian authorities. Intel sources have told CNN News 18, shared with us by Manoj Kumar Gupta, Network 18 Group Editor in Investigations and Security Affairs, that the Dalai Lama is under threat from an Australian citizen of Tibetan origin named Singye. Singye has issued threats on social media, specifically on Meta platforms, Facebook, calling for the assassination of the Dalai Lama, comparing the act to the assassination of Libya's Muammar Gaddafi. Singye is now subject to prohibition orders under the Bharatiya Nyaya Sanhita or BNS. Singye has been booked under various sections of the BNS, and the district administration has cited various violations by Singye, including waging war against Bharat and acts causing public nuisance and community disturbance. Top intelligence sources further reveal that the government considers this threat with utmost seriousness due to its international implications. The recent death threat to the Dalai Lama has far-reaching consequences, not just for Bharat, but for the global community at large. The intel sources also underline the ramifications of this threat, the various angles. The Dalai Lama holds immense significance for the Tibetan diaspora, which is spread across Bharat, China, Bhutan and Nepal. And with a sizable number of Tibetans residing in Bharat, any threat to their spiritual leader could ignite widespread unrest among the community. Intel sources further reveal that the death threats made against the Dalai Lama could escalate into a more significant geopolitical crisis, given the Dalai Lama's international stature as a peace icon. Any harm to him may fuel tensions between Bharat and China. Sources also added that the threats against the Dalai Lama have caused deep distress among Tibetans both in Bharat and abroad. According to intelligence reports, the threat to the Dalai Lama has already sparked protests in various parts of Bharat, and sources predict that large-scale demonstrations could erupt if any harm comes to the spiritual leader. And intel sources stress that if the Dalai Lama is harmed in any way, it could severely damage Bharat's international reputation, especially regarding its stance on religious tolerance and human rights. And in the aftermath of the chilling death threats against the Dalai Lama, CNN News 18 has also accessed the CCP's latest strategy to delegitimize the Tibetan spiritual leader. Intel sources have told CNN News 18 and Manoj Kumar Gupta getting us these details that the Chinese Communist Party has effectively utilized state-controlled media to craft a narrative around the Dalai Lama that paints him as an enemy of the state, accusing him of inciting violence and unrest in Tibet. Now, one of the CCP's primary tactics is spreading propaganda that aims to turn Tibetans against His Holiness. The Tibetan children are taught a distorted narrative that labels the Dalai Lama as a separatist who seeks to divide China. The CCP asserts that Tibet has always been an integral part of China and that Tibetan Buddhism should be under the control of the CCP and not exiled religious leaders. The CCP has employed coercion and intimidation to silence any support for the Dalai Lama. Monasteries are forced to denounce him, while monks who remain loyal face arrest, torture and forced re-education. The state-run media outlets like the Global Times, Xinhua and CGTN, along with a network of fake social media accounts, are being used to spread false allegations accusing the Dalai Lama of inciting violence and colluding with Western powers. Now, furthermore, the CCP's biggest tool is to promote alternative Tibetan Buddhist leaders. Now, Tibetans living abroad recruited to spy on the Dalai Lama. Controlling the succession of the Dalai Lama is another key objective for the CCP. They claim the authority to choose the next Dalai Lama, rejecting any successor chosen by His Holiness or the Tibetan community at large. Now, China's Panchen Lama is used as a political tool to replace the Dalai Lama's influence. Furthermore, the images of the Dalai Lama are banned in Tibet, and any expression of loyalty to him is being criminalized. China has increasingly turned to covert and coercive methods to undermine the Dalai Lama's influence, using a variety of tactics to weaken Tibetan unity and shift global perception. Intel sources have further revealed that Tibetans are recruited, bribed and blackmailed by China both inside Tibet and abroad into serving its political interests. Through a series of coercive measures, Tibetans are being pressured into aligning with China's political goals. China has been utilizing Tibetan origin individuals who have been brought under its influence or are sympathetic to its agenda to create divisions within the Tibetan community. Efforts to create rifts within the Tibetan diaspora are also underway, and as Tibetans are being manipulated into opposing one another. In an attempt to manipulate global perceptions of the Dalai Lama, campaigns are being run wildly, rapidly, and being fueled by bot networks and pro-CCP influencers. A recent example of the CCP's propaganda efforts occurred in April 2023 when a video of the Dalai Lama interacting with an Indian boy was manipulated and disseminated online. Chinese propagandists have edited the Dalai Lama's past video to falsely labeling him as a pedophile. China has expertly capitalized on the lack of understanding about Tibetan culture and traditions in the West to spread falsehoods about the Dalai Lama. With the increasing global focus on child protection, China has also used past videos of His Holiness to heighten sensitivity and also the attack on the Dalai Lama. What happens next is a big question, and what the role is India going to play to help our neighbors is something that we also have to decide.
야, 강세라, 어디 그런 조식도. 다가 데리다 첩시바이 계시해줘로. 고니만 다루나시 시고요리. 지니만 트부나시 도고요리마도 도마다. 제정게 얘기 지 칼로르. 풀림이 파세 라우나시 내가 차브레. 좋아. 这位感觉地南路了康生独家的是当康生的叫我们这看当我的是当康生给你说啊，因说他蒙古就看到多的康生的康生写的个多，但你看这个大瓦郎就个卡表的可能怕gör起，康生的人没多少，康生的感觉不长的，但是真就凭这个做下面。 칸비미는 낙포스에게 치에도니 게제 시행에 샤체 아니 도스 칼로르다 레샤스르도 요 콘스 오디 칸데네 문에 저것도다 문에 뜻데 체스기르달레 지 용거와 제가 다양선이 공생의 주주 체드 마치는 오부터 마신이 코만지 주주 체는 코파이 직지나 파조도 원 당교 멘로 슬레로데 자외 가장 단데 마감 침백이 숙소 지시에서 카땅기 또는 카땅이 창마 또게 말해서 카땅이 같이 강준이 샤브레스레도다 대바열라니 이제 깨를 락바 창마 창마다 되게 줄 야게 말해서 럽서와 다디 더보 직니 기티 숙체 땅체 셰 계절에 니 그런 게를 쉬시 포요보다 니 디나로는 그런 독자를 셔스게 라면다 그런 간대보다니 마 라우르했다 얘기한 거죠니 당시에 미치는 지 공시절 대바면나 칼로다 면도 제제 갔다 저때 지기 요새레슬라디셔는 그나라 갑디자 등에 되는 섬무스타처럼 오늘 그 있는 뒤저지도 섬에도 된데 니즈지 용으로니 디시에브레마도 심은 그나라 나가 뭐 개념이다 단다보도 거네 그렇게 시되게 망치어지 니에디게 요로니 뜻들 렌데스케 개야 말 접촉진 게 시에게 요 말로 디케라 신기로 혼도신다 라세 야 강사 니랑 계제 시 직전에 니에요서래 직전에 니에요서 말다디 니에는 메시데 더 니 시에 데 배트 콘 쇼스 로스 와텐데랑 말에 오늘 말에 이다지 강시 직전에 니에는 메는 섬스 여기 파게라 롱 쇼스 랑데도 여디 파게라 땅바이나 니 상와사마 치레 쇼르기로 니 파치네 제시하메 마 당인 자베 기 켜라 독제 라워다 독제 라이브레 독제 라이데 코네 라차네 지 칼로 남주 결혼을 지담는 시딩이 된줄라 때 셈나 독과지 tuyere 안데니 마마 태용도엔 제 대바다 된데 망고 시엔이라가 제딩에도 단 참되어래 과가블링기어래 다도 신은 아주 첩세디 dro고 여름마도 배트거나 장마 이 학산 남다 이는 계저 장마 루마다 문에네 정말 첩세라로 현장에 다 참전의 수수 종기게 기게 밀은 뇌게 고고요래 참전의 수수 초를 종되게 되게 밀은 뇌게 고고래 때 삼삼니 파도 도로 파네 게 여러와 근데 저기 가서 타라상게 때 직시에서 와 꽃니 타라상게 때 망보 꽃니 시에서 와니 다 이게 드린 캐나 민고를 때니 시에샤브레 다디 저기 시사데 캐나리다 디 더블 된데 가지고 소나는 망보 여러와 근데 정말 파 고고야도 정말 데스틱 칼로시네 미기다 창조 마시야도 다 나래 고급디 된데 심벌 로